All right, Shalom. Call Loyum, La Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ruach Kodash. That's all praises to the Heavenly Father. His true name is Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son. His true name is Yahweh Shai, in the name of the Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Honors and salutations to you fellow laborers out there doing the work in truth and in sincerity, especially during these times. Shalom to the few Akwaf that believe as well. A hearty shalom and salutations to you other laborers and believers that are scattered throughout the face of the earth. Excuse me. Whether you be among the heathen and even like those heathen, which are the speckled bird Israelites, to the household of faith, which is the elect, I want to say shalom to you all, and back at you with another quick or really edifying lesson. And before I begin this video, I want to say fair use, fair use. Under the 1976 Section 107 Fair Use Act, my videos are not monetized. I don't receive any compensation off these videos, only for literary, commentary, and educational purposes. So with that being said, fair use, fair use. As Corey Holcomb called him, Coon A. Smith, but his name is Stephen A. Smith, and he's a big time sports commentator and analyst on ESPN. He got a record breaking deal with ESPN, and he says a lot of shit that's buffoonery. And now this past year, and now he's entered into the political arena, if you will, where he's into politics. And in this particular video, even this Elamite Tucker Carlson, he basically cut Stephen A. with the truth. And this show you how money, once it's coveted or it's something that people that have a love for, it show you how it when you have those type of things, love for money and shit like that, it compromises your morals, your moral standards, which your morals come from the scriptures, by the way. Okay, the word morals, right? When you look at it, right? Let me see something real quick if I can get it. The word morals. Bear with me 1 second. Let me look it up. The word morals, it says associated with or characterized by right behavior. Right, righteous, same thing. Associated with or concerning conduct or moral principles. All right, good or bad, which you can have good morals or bad morals, right? Proper behavior of a person in society, literally pertaining to manners. Let's see. One's disposition, mores, customs, manners, morals. Let me see if there's more. Of or pertaining to rules of right conduct, opposed to non-moral or immoral and morally good in accordance to rules of right conduct. Okay, excuse me. Habitually conforming to moral rules. All right. Founding on morality. Let me see. Is there more? All right. Pertaining to or affecting the character or conduct as distinguished from the intellectual or physical nature. Okay, so that's about it, man. Let's see some more. All right. Yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it, man. So, what was the ethics? Ethics is study of morals. So, basically, your behavior or conduct being aligned with that which is right. Okay, and the scriptures tell you what is right from wrong, or what's righteous and what's unrighteous, or what's righteous and what's wicked, right? Good or bad, right? Good or evil, and again, the laws, commandments, statutes, and judgments that the Lord gave to us, that was our schoolmaster, right? That goes to what? Education. Education meaning what? When you go into the word education, Because in this society, we're educated in Esau's system, doing shit that he, programs, within our minds as young kids. Because the scriptures tell you that you should raise a child in the way he should go, and he will not depart. But in this society, you're raised with bullshit, for the most part. Right? Overwhelmingly bullshit. Things that don't pertain to you and your heritage or culture that your forefathers, had. Education, child rearing. See? It says child rearing, the training of animals, rearing, training. Yeah, you train your child up, right? I think that's Proverbs 22, if I'm mistaken. Excuse me. Originally of instruction in social codes and manners, meaning systematic schooling and training for work. So, yeah, man, instructions on what? Social codes or manners. That's something that, we're supposed to be raised with in this, when we come into this world, man, basically. When we come into this world, we're supposed to be raised up, in our heritage and traditions, which comes from the scriptures, man. But in this world, we're raised into Esau society. We learn his bullshit, pseudoscience, and all that old madness that they indoctrinate you with as a kid when you go in this so-called education system in America. Okay? Because they know that that's the critical time for a person to learn when you're a kid. So, pretty much, Stephen A. don't have good morals, because when you hear him talk, he don't sound right from the things he say. Now, he may be entertaining when it comes down to, analyzing sports and shit like that. But when it comes down to, like this political arena he's in, he's way over his head. All right, he's out of his league, man. And for him to make the statement he made proves that he's out of his league, because Tucker Carlson, which is he's a political, he's a journalist and a political analyst. This is his field. This is his profession. And he just basically schooled Stephen A. Smith. All right, and what Stephen A. Smith do? He go on an attack. As far as attacking, Tucker Carlson's viewpoint, which is actually factual, by the way, and he's looking like a fool. Okay, so let's play it, right? Slocky, I kind of went into something else, but hey, man, it is what it is, man. Most of our people you see on these fucking shows, on these different platforms, they don't have no morals, man. But our people, they look at these jakes that's in the public face, Slocky, and these public platforms and faces of the people, and they look they look at the people, and people look up to them. They look up to them like they're somebody to be sought after, and they're basically mislead you. All right, they basically mislead you, thinking that they intelligent, which they may be schooled in education, according to this world, but to a man of the Lord, these people are, whether they are people or not, these people are foolish, man. And matter of fact, let me get that real quick, man. Shit that come out of their mouth be crazy. So this is 1 Corinthians chapter 1. Let's see here. I'm going right to the point. Yeah, verse 20 says, "Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world? Had not the Most High made foolish the wisdom of this world?" And see, Stephen A. He may be an Israelite, but he's wise, according to this world. And the wisdom of this world, man, is basically foolishness, man. As the scriptures, telling you. Had not the Most High made foolish the wisdom of this world? That's why when they come up to us, whether it be our people that's into whatever they're into, religion, what have you, they always confounded because they don't have the wisdom of the scriptures, man. All right, they don't have the true knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the scriptures, and they get confounded all the time because this wisdom that we got don't come from, Esau's food system. All right, his so-called education system. Right, this wisdom and knowledge and understanding we got come from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Excuse me. Verse 21. For after that, in the wisdom of the Most High, the world by wisdom knew not the Most High. See, this world is totally absent when it comes to the wisdom of the Most High that He gives to His men. Okay, and please the Most High by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe. All right, so let's go from there. Let's get to the video. Okay, again, fair use. Let's chime in and see what's going on.
That's it. All right, let's take a look. And I think one of the most extreme human beings I've ever met in my entire life was Lindsey Graham. And I would say maybe the second most extreme I've ever met is Ted Cruz. Both U.S. senators. Lindsey Graham unfortunately passed away recently. Ted Cruz still represents Texas. These are people who have called for murdering innocents at scale, bombing people who did nothing wrong, killing kids, and have done that for like decades, who have openly called for the U.S. government and American citizens to be more loyal to a foreign country than to their own, who have called for banning Americans' right to criticize a foreign country, eliminating free speech on behalf of a foreign nation. You can criticize your own country, totally fine. You're not allowed to criticize a foreign country. That's so crazy that I can hardly believe it's happening, and nobody says it. So you'll go and
and that's true. You can't speak against them tiny tops, because what? They'll deplatform you. They'll take your videos down off YouTube. They control that shit, man. Oh, you say something about them, misinformation, or it violates our community guidelines. Yeah, man. Oh, the America totally do the bidding of the Israeli government. That's a fact. They just signed the joint military and what else is called? Anyway, they just signed an agreement where the IDF is getting ready to come over here to the States. Okay, and help basically police the States. Makes no sense. You know what I mean? They're the main lobbyists. When you look at the whole political platform, who's surrounded around the so-called leader of the free world, as they say. All these lobbyists, they all tiny tops, man. They influence your laws and foreign policy, man. Again, they control the world's wealth. All that. You can't criticize them. They take away your free speech. That's true. And they have murdered people, millions of people, by way of this U.S. military doing their bidding. I mean, just examine the whole so-called war on terror era. Over millions in Iraq. Syria was hitting that point almost. Look at Palestine. Look at Libya. They're killing Iranians. They're killing Yemenis. People in Yemen. Now, I don't give a shit about these heathen, but this is what these people are doing. Oh, they all in Lebanon, right? Afghanistan. So Tucker Carlson's viewpoint was based on fact. The truth, right? As far as, of the matter. The truth of the matter. Let's explain a little more. Again, fair use.
Interview Lindsey Graham, or I interviewed Ted Cruz last year, and people are like, oh, no one is like, I can't believe you're sitting with that wacko extremist Ted Cruz, who's literally called for murdering people. And by the way, has helped murder people. He's a United States Senator. He's not a podcaster. He votes for things. He appropriates money. That guy has blood on his hands, the blood of countless innocents, but it's totally cool to sit with him. How does that work? I don't understand. Not one person has ever said, I can't believe you sat across from Ted Cruz. He's a murderer, which is true. But because we're so
you're calling
controlled.
you're calling a senator. Wait, hold on, Tucker. These are political officials you have known, just like you've known Trump. You've known a lot of guys on Capitol Hill. You've interviewed a lot of them. You've talked to a lot of them. You used to be on Fox News, with your top-rated show at 8 p.m. after you succeeded Bill O'Reilly. You used to talk to these folks all the time, and now here you are on this show. You're calling them a murder. You're calling a guy like Senator Ted Cruz a murderer.
Well, it's true. Ted Cruz is calling for the killing of innocents and funding it. And so what I'm actually calling for is not calling out poor Ted Cruz.
And that's absolutely correct. See? You way above your fucking head, Stephen A. This is matter of fact, before I get that, let's get this real quick. That's what these people do, man. They lie in wait, these devils lie in wait and they fucking murder, man. Excuse me. This is Job 24:14. In fact, let me see what the KJV says. All right, let's go to the KJV, man. Give me 1 second. Let me get there. The book of Job 24 and verse 14. It says, the murderer rising with the light killeth the poor and needy, and the night is as a thief. See? And that's Esau for you. Begin with Amalek, man. Look at those. Excuse me. Look at those. Look at the IDF, man. There've been plenty of videos came out where they're bragging about murdering, what have you, man. The different countries that they capture those people, Palestinians. They brag about, spitting on and assaulting you wacky tacky Christians, man. But yet you have a high regard for these people. So the murderer, all right, he's always doing what? Murdering. John 10:10, the thief cometh not but to steal, kill, and destroy. And that's the so-called white man for you, beginning with these tiny tops that, Stephen A, not Stephen A, Schlock, Tucker Carlson is basically, he's talking about the tiny tops, if you hear his talking point, and then, like you said, Lindsey Graham, Ted Cruz, all these politicians, man, they do the will of the elites, man. All right, they do the bidding of the elites, man. Because why? No matter how you look at it, Democratic, Republican, they all on the same side. When you go to the book of Revelation, right? Chapter 13. See if I can get it real quick. Revelation 13. In verse 11, it says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. Now that beast represents the revival of the Roman system, man. All right, which that came back during the Renaissance period. Okay, that beast that had a deadly wound. Basically when West Rome fell. Was the deadly wound that was healed during the Renaissance era, where they came back fully into power. During the the Renaissance began in the beginning of the 1300s, man. But it was more of a how I want to say it. It was more of a coming into fruition heavily during the mid 14 to the latter 1400s, where it was like a heavy influence. They basically was getting strongholds throughout Europe, so-called Europe, and in different parts of that world, and then over here as well, because the latter 1400s they came over here in the late 1400s. Okay. So the 14th and 15th centuries, was the key time in history where the Edomites were coming back into power, man. Okay, that beast was being revived. Okay, because when you look at this system or society that we live in, it's just a replica of Rome. Okay, when you look at it, Rome had malls. Rome had the Senate House. You know, the main two dominant political parties. You know, you go into Rome, right? See here. No. No, what the fuck is this? There we go. Slovakia. I don't know what was going on. In ancient Rome, patricians were the wealthy, land-owning noble class who claimed descent from the original founders of the city, giving them a monopoly on political and religious power, which will be your Republican party today. Plebeians were the commoners, the laborers, farmers, and merchants who made up the vast majority of the population. All right, this will be your Democrats today. Okay, you know, called by different names. Same thing. When you look it up, right? Let's see. Excuse me. Democrats and Republicans are the two major political parties in the United States, differing mainly in their views on government size, taxes, and social policies. Look at this. Democratic Party core view: generally considered liberal, supporting a larger role for the federal government in managing the economy and solving social issues to people. Taxes and spending favors higher taxes on high-income earners to fund social welfare programs, public education, and healthcare access for the commoners. Social and environmental issues. Blah blah blah. Republican Party generally considered conservative, advocating for a smaller federal government with an emphasis on individual liberty and free market capitalism. Yeah, wealthy, because basically free market capitalism and smaller government on basically the economy, where they can make their money and become wealthy as they want to be without any restrictions or any restrictions or anything stopping them from accumulating those riches by various business ventures. Say taxes and spending favors lower taxes for individuals and businesses who are wealthy, and reduce government spending on domestic social programs. Yeah, they don't give a shit about the poor. I'm just telling you how they word it. This ain't my personal view. This is how they play it. So basically, you can see the plebeians, patricians are the Democrats and Republicans today. Social and national security stretches traditional social values, a strong national defense and military funding, and strict border security. Hey man, so it's no difference, man. All right, same shit, different day. And scripture say, "What ain't no new thing under the sun." Okay, so back in Revelation 13:11, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Right, and those two horns represents those two political parties. All right, but guess what? They're all part of that dragon. They're all part of that beast system. Okay, and really going even further back, it started when the Elamites ruled as the Greeks. Okay, that's found in First Maccabees, the 8th chapter, man. Okay, it's the same shit, man. Because that's why they call it the Greco-Roman era, man. See, I'll get that real quick and I'll get right back to it. First Maccabees 8:15. Yeah. Moreover, how they made for themselves a Senate house wherein 320 men sat in council daily. You got your Senate house today. I got the same shit, man. The Senate house, when they passing all the legislation and everything, man. It says, wherein 320 men sat in council daily, consulting all way for the people, to the end they might be well ordered. Right. So what the Senate house do? All right. purpose of the United States Senate House is to pass laws, approve treaties, and confirm presidential nominees. As the upper chamber of the U.S. Senate, it provides equal representation for every state and acts as a check on the House of Representatives. Let me see. Let's see what all they give on it. Yeah, man. So basically, you know, this is the same shit, man. Okay? Let me see. Others have sought to explain his role in the federal system of checks and balances. Why have its seemingly arcane rules and traditions survived, and what purposes do they still serve? The idea of the Senate features thoughtful analysis of the Senate's rules and procedures, its history and traditions, and its personnel, and prerogatives, covering more than 2 centuries of political thought. Each entry in this collection provides a quotation from the original source placed into a historical context. Let's see here. Look, the term House of not no sentence, dumbass. Look, the word and concept of a Senate originated from the ancient Roman senatus, an assembly of elders, meaning old men. So yeah, ancient origins, ancient Rome. The term Senate comes from the Latin word derived from the Senate. Yeah. Okay, historical model. While not a direct legislative ancestor, the Roman concept inspired modern political bodies to use the name for a smaller, more deliberative upper chamber. It's the same shit, man. Okay? The system, like I said before, not just me, Shalakia, I don't want to, because I'm not trying to credit myself, Shalakia. Like the apostles, on down, been saying, the apostles, bishops, elders, on down to the youngest brothers, we all learned that what? America is a replica of Rome again. Okay? All right, so let me read 1 Maccabees 8 and 15 again. Moreover, how they had made for themselves a Senate house, wherein 320 men sat in council daily, consulting always for the people, to the end that they might be well ordered, and that they committed their government to one man every year, who ruled over all their country, and that all were obedient to that one, and that there was neither envy nor immolation among them. Right. That one being what? The president, excuse me. And every year was a thing back then. You fast forward now, they have a thing where presidents, because that's what they were, they stay in office for 4 years at a time. Okay? At least they're impeached or whatever. But they have 4 years, and then they can do another 4 years in total of 8 years. Okay? So it's no difference. That's the whole point. But again, it's still the same system. Same system, man. Outwardly, they're against each other. Inwardly, they're on the same side. You know? So it doesn't matter if, he supported one or whatever. They're still part of the same system as you're finding out. When the Democrats in office, same talking points. Oh, they doing this, they doing that. They invaded, too many invasions, too many regime changes. The Republicans get in office, same shit. The Democrats criticize them on the same thing, man. Now, when Trump got in office, what he said? He basically exposed them, said the same shit. Trump deportation ain't no different than when Obama or Biden was in office. Same shit. It's just Trump, the way he was doing it, where the public eye, you know what I'm saying? Well, basically everything is out in the open. People are recording more and putting it on social media. You know? They're using it as a talking point in mainstream news media. But again, it's the same shit. It's the same shit. Same system, man. Okay? And the point being, Stephen A. can't really refute what Tucker Carlson said. These people are murderers. Okay? Like I read to you in Job 24:14. It said they murder at the light, right? It said they murder the poor and needy. How are they able to do that? Because it's in the, let me get this real quick. It's in the power of their hands, man. Micah 2:1, woe to them that devise, Slocky, what happened? Micah 2:1, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. That backs up Job 24:14. So they practicing these evil, wicked things by murdering the needy and shit, the poor and needy, because it's in the power of their hands to do so. You know? And how dare you, Stephen A., try to justify, basically, you know, in so many words, he's justifying their deeds. Well, you should have said, you should be against them too. But see, guys like this took that bad in this world. No, of course he's not, no teacher or nothing like that. You know, he's in the world. He's an Israelite that's in the world. But the point is, you know, they've given him that bag and he thinks he's something more than what he really is. Just another simple-minded, buffoonery-ass Negro that's on mainstream TV and you're being used as a distraction. You know? That's all you are, man. You ain't nothing special, man. See, guys like this think they special. They get money. You think because he, you know, in the pocket, you know, basically in Esau's pockets, that he's become something, that he's, you know, made it, you know, like he's escaped the curses or something. Something happened to him, you know, his family ain't gonna get none of that money he got. You know? Proverbs 17:15. He that justified the wicked. All right, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's justifying the wicked deeds of the wicked. All right, who was the wicked? Esau, Edom. All right, the self-proclaimed white man. Begin with their wicked elites, man, the tiny tops. It says, he that justified the wicked and condemneth the just, even they both are an abomination. Okay? Point is, he's justifying the wicked. Because why? They pay his salary. You know? Because when you look at Stephen A. in this, and I've been watching here and there, I don't watch it often at all. You watch Stephen A. when you get into this politic thing, he always, and I don't watch a show, I think I watch a show maybe once or twice, you know, I usually catch him in like clips or something like that. But anyways, he's always making a fool of himself, man. All right? And that's just what Jake do. See? They gave him money to be a goddamn clown, and he's going to put that paint and red nose on his face, and be just that, a fucking clown. Jeremiah 2:33, it says this: why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? See? And that's exactly what Stephen A. does. All you Israelites in the entertainment world that have sold out, you trim your ways to seek love from these goddamn heathen, man. When these heathen don't love you, man, these heathen nations, they don't fucking love you, Jakes, man. They use you for their purpose, and after that, they discard your ass. And make sure your family don't get nothing but a crumb at best. You know? Sirach 13 and 4. If thou be for his profit, he will use thee, but if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee. See? And that's something that the rich will do to the poor. They use a Stephen A. Smith. He gonna say all kind of buffoonery shit and make himself look bad. Cause what? Guess what? They paying his salary, bro. Okay? This dude is these jakes you see on these TV platforms, I don't give a shit. It's boxing, basketball, all these things is just sold out Israelites on display. And keep you distracted from what's really going on around the world, man. All the shit going on around the world, and they got your mind fixed on, LeBron just joined the Sixers, man. Now it's breaking news. It's gonna be on your YouTube feed, right? You slide your screen to the right, and you see your left side, and show you the little things going on, little news, little list. He may be on one of them, one of them spotted or highlighted things in your news little feed. But that's not important. What's important is prophecy. What's important is what the will of the Lord is, man. Jumping to verse 6, it says, if he have need of thee, he will deceive thee and smile upon thee and put thee in hope. Right, because like Stephen A., he got hope that he's going to retire wealthy, rich and wealthy. But guess what? Once they got your ass, you're going to have to do whatever they tell you to do. And that's that, man. And these jakes go in here, thank God. Man, look, bro. The Most High ain't in your fucking mindset when you're selling out, bro. Your ass sell out to get that money. And it's because you always been wicked, man. Every incarnation you've been in, your ass been wicked, man. Okay, it says, he will speak thee fair and say what one is. So let me read it again. If he have need of thee, he will deceive thee and smile upon thee and put thee in hope. He will speak thee fair and say, what one is thou? See? Your ass fall off. What you want? Notice all these older celebrities that died out of this world, they in the spirit world back in heaven. And notice how they died. They died broke. I mean, you name them, they all died broke. Or in financial ruins, where their families don't even have shit really, man. They make sure you jakes don't have no generational wealth, man. See? So again, why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? Jake want to be rich. They want to live a comfortable lifestyle in this world when the scriptures tell you that this is not our rest, man. Okay, but Jake have made this world, or trying to make this world their rest. When the kingdom is going to be our rest, man. Beginning with the elect. Proverbs 3:31. Envy thou not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. And that's exactly what our people do, man. They envy the oppressor. What the word envy mean? Let's go to the word envy. The Hebrew word is qanah. To envy, be jealous. To to provoke to jealous anger, cause jealousy. Yeah, man. Jacob is like that. They want what Esau got. Esau got a heavy judgment coming, man. The reward of the wicked is going to be a harsh judgment, the most harsh. Psalm 73 and verse 3. For I was envious. Matter of fact, let me see. Yeah, Psalm 73 and verse 3. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. Yeah, man. And that's what Jake is. Jake is, envious, man. Let me see. Esau blessing is nothing, man. Yeah, same thing. Same word, quanah. Jake is envious of the wicked, man. They see the prosperity of the wicked and they think, oh, I gotta have that. I gotta have that too. See, in the kingdom, we're gonna have innumerable amount of riches, man. You gotta remember, the earth was made for the sake of us Israelites, man. First and foremost. So it ain't nothing that we're not gonna have, man. See, when we're in the kingdom, we're gonna have everything you can think of. But right now, it ain't meant. That's why those that be in this world, they sell out, man. Just to have that fucking man, they sell out to have that quick, comfortable lifestyle, man. Okay? But it come with, basically a life of man, what's the word I'm looking for? It come with a life of shallowness, man. Cause you gotta, Jake gotta do so many fucking rituals, and which is satanic rituals, all kind of shit. Sacrifice your loved ones, all kind of abomination or abominable sexual acts, just to get that fucking money, man. It ain't worth it. All right, Luke 6:24. But woe unto you that are rich, for ye have received your consolation. Right. Okay, you read the AMP, but woe, or destruction, which is what woe means, it says judgment is coming to you who are rich and place your faith in possessions while remaining spiritually impoverished. For you are already receiving your comfort in full, and there is nothing left to be awarded to you. So you wanted fame and glory on this side. But remember, everything has a price. See, we Israelites that believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai and doing the Lord's will, man, we look for fame and glory in the kingdom, where you ain't gotta do no wicked shit, to have it. You're gonna have it because why? You stood stiffly, all right, for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, man. And not gotta sell yourselves out to this goddamn devil for some fucking filthy lucre, man. And that's exactly what our people do, man. The cares of riches, which cause many to perish and lose sleep. But hey, man, I'm going to end it right there. I went on way further than I wanted to, but Lord willing, you've been edified. All praise and glory, excuse me, all praise and glory be unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ruach HaKodesh, and Shalom to the Lord's elect. And I'll see you in the next video, Lord willing. Till next time, Shalom, and the Bible Bar.